Okay, sir, we're live.
Okay. Being that it's 7 p.m., we're going to call this town board meeting to order. The fire exits are outside that door at each end of the hall, and there is a defibrillator across the hall on the wall for anyone who may need it. We'll start with our pledge of allegiance to the flag and a moment of silence for all the police residents of Hamlin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Now we will start with our invocation from Nick Russo of Walker Bible Baptist Church.
Let's pray. Heavenly Father, we thank you for tonight. Thank you for the nice weather we've experienced the last couple of days. And just thank you for this board. Thank you for these people that give of their time and effort and thought to help our community. Lord, I pray you give them wisdom tonight. Lord, I pray that the example that they set forth in the community be one that you'd be pleased with. Lord, I thank you for these that are here. And again, I pray that just everything here tonight would please honor and glorify you. And I pray this all in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. Will our town clerk please do the roll call?
Robot.
Here.
Nail. Here. Loco. Here. Yeager.
Here.
Aye.
Here. Now we please welcome Grace Lagnese from Troop 813 to talk about a legal project for the library.
Hi, my name is Grace Lagnese. I'm from Troop 813. I'm here tonight to present my Eagle project for town records. I'm going to be doing it for the Hamlin Public Library, and I'm going to be making them a seed library that can be used during spring and summer months for gardening, and a bookshelf for the activity boxes because they are currently stored on top of the other bookshelves and is taking up needed space. I am planning on starting next week during February break. That's a great time for the scouts to help me with that project. And I am planning to have the bookshelf installed at the beginning of March. Any questions?
Are you getting the funding? Is it your own funding, or how are you funding the project?
So I have to sign a fundraising form and get it approved, and then I can go ask businesses like Lowe's if they'd be willing to donate. Lowe's did donate to my project, and the supplies I needed. So.
Now you're building a bookshelf, which the library director talked to me. What was the other thing you're doing?
A seed library.
Okay. Does she need any permits? It's just a shelf
Yeah, no, she
for the
doesn't.
library. Okay.
Thank you for your.
I'm just wondering. Anybody else?
How long is it good? It's good. You're going to do it during the February break, so you think you can finish it during that time?
Yes.
I talked to the library director. She said she's excited about this. She said it's something that's needed to keep things separated in different age groups, I guess. There's different age groups that they're trying to separate on, so they have them all in one thing. That's good.
So when you're done with this, you'll be an Eagle Scout, or that's just part of this whole process?
I am finishing up a couple merit badges for right now, and then I just have to turn my Eagle paperwork and go to the board review.
With the seeds, how are they gonna be replenished? Or is it just a one-time start? Is there a plan for like getting new seeds, like years down the road?
I actually don't know.
Okay, that is a good question. I had to figure out how to. You'd probably start it and then have a way, maybe talk to Christine over there on how that's going to continue. Maybe they need to put that in their budget line item. So that'll be a big fact for
Might be like the idea of like a little free library, take one if you can, leave one if you can.
Oh, that's
I've
great.
heard of them run like that before.
Yeah, that's even better.
Yeah. Anybody else?
Are the seeds just flowers? Are they vegetables?
Vegetables too. I'm gonna have those 4 different cloth ones that hang up on a magazine holder, And so 2 will be for vegetables, 3 would be for vegetables, then 1 will be for flowers.
Awesome.
All right, well, we just, town board thanks you, and we hope that you have a good time doing it, and it goes very good, very smoothly.
Thank you for having me.
Yep, thank
Good
you.
luck. Very proud of you, thank you very much.
They gotta have their names.
At this time, we will do our public forum. Is there anybody in the audience besides you, Nick? I know you do, but is there anybody in the audience who wants to address this town board? If not, then I know we have somebody here, a contractor, who wants to just give us a little more information about the renovations on the History Center. So Nick, if you would, or not Nick. Dan, I'm sorry. I'm thinking of Nick Russo. I'm looking at you and thinking of you, Nick. I'm sorry. Dan.
My name is Dan Wensek with TJW Construction. Steve contacted me a couple months ago about possibly remodeling the historical building down on Church Road and Walker Lake, Ontario Road there. I don't know how much of the project he has disclosed to all of you, but they're going to be doing some pretty extensive remodeling to the exterior of the product, and then maybe doing some interior stuff down the road in the future. The whole point of this project is to basically keep the existing part of the building looking exactly how it was. We're going to go through and repaint all of the existing wood that is in there, replace any damaged stuff and rotted stuff. There's a couple spots up on the front against the road there that have taken on some water damage, that we'll be replacing that, and then giving everything a nice fresh coat of white paint. And the whole project was broken up into about 2 different sections for you guys to be able to decipher. The painting portion of it, which is a good chunk of it because it's all going to have to be done from the lift because of how tall the building is. And then the back half of the project is the siding, which would be the most noticeable remodeling, as to you can see the siding that's on the building now is in some rough shape. What we will be doing is installing some fan fold insulation over the top of that, and then bringing in new cedar shaped vinyl siding that Steve picked out. There's a couple different options if we wanted to go with more of a traditional siding as opposed to the more expensive cedar shaped profile, but it's a beautiful product and you'll be extremely satisfied with it in that sense. If we did want to, and we also included in the estimate, we're going to be installing a composite brick 3 feet up all the way around the new section of the building. So none of the siding work will be done to the original building, which has all of the natural stone and stuff like that done to it. So we're only going to be remodeling the new construction portion of it that was put on much more recently than the original building was built. So I do not know what the specific colors that you guys have finally settled on yet. It was still up in the air. The pricing was pretty similar for the sections that you guys chose, but basically to give you a quick rundown is brick will be installed 3 feet up all the way around, and then up to the peaks all the way around we'll be doing a new vinyl shade siding. All new soffits, there's a couple of lights in there that we'll be replacing, so it'll look like a brand new building when it's all done. And I'm just here to answer any questions you may have.
So it's vinyl, but it actually looks like cedar, correct?
Yep, it looks just like a cedar shake, but it's 100% maintenance free. You'll never have to stain it, do any. The worst thing you have to do is wash it every couple of years. It's just like the vinyl siding that probably the majority of you have in your houses now. Just a different profile, so that's what makes it so expensive though.
Which are the windows that are gonna be replaced?
So there was 3 windows that were up for debate. They were the ones that were basically falling apart on the outside. Steve and I had discussed the options of doing a new construction window versus a replacement window. The price is the same, it's more so what we want to do with the appearance. The appearance that you get with the new construction window is all vinyl on the outside, whereas with keeping the existing frames and then putting a replacement window inside of it, we would keep the wood design on the outside that would then get wrapped in white aluminum trim foil. So it would just keep the rest of the building all looking the same instead of having some brand new looking windows and then some of the old looking windows. So the window function itself will all be brand new, but the frame on the outside of it will keep the historical look of the rest of the building.
And I know you gave us a thing on the cupola there.
Yes, so that, when we got a price from my painter to help out with that, the price to side it was just about the exact same. It's entirely a personal preference on your guys' part. There's pros and cons both ways to it. By keeping it with the original wood, obviously we'd go in there and replace where the shutters and stuff like that are missing. It keeps that history to it, but you have to paint it and maintain it, and that's way on the top of the building. So what we had suggested was maybe siding it in its place. Now, I don't know how recent you guys have been by there, but there's a lot of fancy, little knickknack decorations up there. Unfortunately, those would have to be removed in order for us to wrap it in trim coil and then side it with the same cedar stake profile. With that being said, it kind of takes away from the historical side of it, but it's then 100% maintenance free and no one will ever have to go back up there again. So that's kind of something for the town board to sit down and think about. Do we want to keep the historical side of it, but have to maintain it, or do we want to modernize it just a little bit with those cedar shakes that we put on there without white paper on?
And you were talking about that, you told me the best paint we can buy.
Yes, we are installing the best possible paint that Sherwin-Williams supplies. If the paint portion of the project is a little over budget on what we wanted to spend, we can always scale back the paint a little bit, but to save $10 a gallon, it's honestly, it's not worth it in my opinion. I'd much rather see you guys spend a quality paint because I don't know when it was last painted, I imagine it was a long time ago, but that's not the type of building that we want to be constantly having to paint every few years. We want to paint the last 5 to 10 years. So little things to make it, maintenance free. The whole point of this is so we don't have to do it again, in 2-3 years down the road. We want the siding will last 50 years. The paint, yeah, we might have to paint it again in 10 years, but we don't want to paint it next year.
Go back to the windows just for a minute.
Yeah.
You're talking vinyl replacement
Yep.
windows. Yep. And the 3 windows there on the south side of the building, that's what
No.
No, so there was one that was along, give me a second what direction. There was one that was, as you walk in the door, that one on the left, that small one right there that was falling apart, was the one that we were going to replace. And then as you go around the side of the building, I believe it's on the north side, the northeast side in the corner, there's 2 picture windows that don't even open. Same thing, they're starting to fall apart from the outside, we're gonna replace those. So it's none of the windows that are a part of the original building. It's only when you go look at it, the really, really old windows that are on the new construction. They're probably old original windows, because if you walk around, you can see some of them have been replaced.
because you lose a little bit of glass.
Yep, you'll lose a little bit of glass space.
And I just wanna make sure they're all gonna look the same, they're not gonna have these odd.
That is why we kind of wanted to go with replacements, to keep everything looking, as original as possible. And then we can wrap the trim coil around the outside of them. As opposed
And
to.
the trim coil is red, the stone part of the building, or he has a white trim coil
Yeah.
wrapped around.
And that's why we wanted to match everything that was there. They put
Yeah.
replacement windows on that part of the building, so by us kind of copying with that trend, it allowed the building to all look the same. Don't get me wrong, the cedar shakes are going to be an entirely different looking with that, but at least the windows will have that, in a history side to it, while still being able to fully function like the originals.
I thought that the brick, he brought up the idea of the brick, I wasn't sure he'd do that, but then I thought that would look nice because the rest of the building is all brick. But then you didn't wanna go with red brick because the other one was like a faded red brick.
Yeah, no,
You never get to match and that would just look.
Instead of trying to match it, we went polar opposite, so
Yeah.
was it a tan or?
We went with like the Buck Country gray
Yeah.
brick and then the
And
tan
then the tan
cedar
shakes, yeah.
shake, yes.
It's a very nice color combination. And if the cedar shakes are, out of the budget that we want to spend on it, I did give Steve a more traditional siding, like I said, that you guys have in your house and stuff like that, just a standard double 4-inch profile. And it would bring the cost down, because the material is significantly cheaper for that. You get what you pay for, I'm sure you guys all know that. You're paying for a premium product and you're gonna get a premium result.
No, I really like that.
And it's nice
I like
stuff.
the cedar.
Yeah,
Maybe Joe, it's really nice.
You think that'll be good with the historical?
Yeah.
Because it will be moving a little away from,
Yeah, I don't think,
traditional.
I just think it's gonna look nice.
I think it'll be a big improvement anyhow from what's going on there now.
The big decision you gotta make is just what to do with it. It's a personal preference at that point. The cost is the exact same. Is if you keep the historical side of it by leaving it natural wood and having paint. Flip side, everything now matches and it's maintenance free. And I think the maintenance free point is the bigger.
And that's the thing, so the decision we make now, 3 years from now, we're gonna say, why didn't we just, keep it maintenance free? I mean, really,
And it's not like you can reach it from an 8-foot ladder. You gotta get a truck to lift you up there to be able to get to it.
Right.
yeah, right. You'll forget those things that used to be up here. That's what I think. really.
We'll discuss that. We are gonna make a decision tonight, so we'll discuss it further, talk about the other bids too, and whether you think the historical aspect or the no maintenance aspect of it is more important.
There's no wrong answer, guys, to that, whatever you wanna do, it's just a personal preference.
What were you saying it would cover up, or what would
We'll
you
have
be
to remove.
using?
So if you
put
go,
the-
when you go look at it, there's actually like fancy decorative designs that hang down from the soffit. Unfortunately, you cannot break metal around each one of those individually, so those will have to be removed. It's like a circle loop under each one of them, traveling all the way around the soffits on the cupola. Those would have to be removed. They would, the soffits would be replaced with white vinyl soffits, like I said, 100% maintenance free.
You can probably keep them and put them someplace in the building. For remembrance.
It's gonna be honest, and that's it, price is exactly the same.
Yeah.
Right.
By the time
So
you
it's a personal preference.
take the time to repair all and find a matching wood shutter that fits the design that the town wants and stuff like that, and then go through and strip everything down and sand it, and then repaint it with probably, I'd imagine, 3 coats of white paint. For the little amount of space it is, that you might aside it with a piece of plywood to fill in where it was.
We could break it up and sell it jewelry. Like the Woodstock stage, they broke those up and do a donation. I know you're laughing now.
Since he's here, any more questions for him though? Anybody?
I'm good, guys? Alrighty, thank you, I appreciate it.
Thank you, Dan.
Have a good night, guys.
Thank you. Okay. Then we're gonna move on with the meeting, requesting town board resolution to approve the regular town board meeting minutes of January 25th, 2023.
So moved.
Second.
Robert,
Yes.
Mal,
Yes.
Boco,
Yeah.
Jaeger,
Yeah.
Baz.
Yes. Requesting town board resolution to approve the payment of bills from their respective funds.
So moved. Robert,
Yes.
Mal,
Yes.
Boco,
Yes.
Jaeger,
Yes.
Baz.
Yes. Supervisor's monthly report.
I got it.
Thank you. Requesting town board resolution to authorize payment of a portion of the Time Warner tax bill in the amount of $1,671.37.
So moved.
Second.
Robert,
Yes.
Mal,
Yes.
Boco,
Yes.
Jaeger,
Yes.
Baz.
Yes. Requesting town board resolution to appoint Ryan S. Williams and Sharon S. Steigerwald to a 5-year term on the Board of Assessment Review to fill vacant positions effective immediately.
Second.
Robert,
Yes.
Mal,
Yes.
Boco,
Yes.
Jaeger,
Yes.
Baz.
Yes. I did let everybody else know, just for the board's information, that they qualified at the board picked these two, so everybody has been notified.
Okay, good.
Requesting town board resolution to approve the auction sale price of $6,000 for the 1995 Ford F-800 sewer jetter truck with funds deposited into the sewer unreserved fund balance.
So moved. Second.
But
Yes.
Mal,
Yes.
Boco,
Yes.
Jaeger,
Yes.
Baz.
Yes. Requesting town board resolution to allow the library to use $1,933.32 from their capital fund balance to pay for heating repairs at the library.
So moved.
It feels like this is the second year in a row, right?
No, so this was
Air
the
conditioning was last year.
So this is a thermostat that went, I mean, the problem is, I'm sure when they built it, it was all low bids, right? So some of the stuff they're replacing is,
Well, is this
Falling apart.
1933 like
no, they have it.
a replacement part, or is it just kind of a Band-Aid?
No,
it's
that's
not.
replacement.
It's a replacement part.
And labor.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's been all replaced, they lost heating in that, the room where they have like meetings and stuff.
It's the same though, they're constantly repairing their
It is.
HVAC.
It's because a lot of the stuff is just, it's like the cheapest version that was put in when they built the building. So that's what the contractors do, they have high, high quality things, so hopefully we're not gonna do this forever, but that's just going on.
How old is it? The system.
And those last ones, it's
I don't remember that. I can't quote you the
like
exact.
10 years, right?
It's been
It's 10 years,
a long time for Chelsea was in office. When it was done.
yeah, about 10 years.
Yeah, it's 10 plus.
Yeah, so really, there's gonna be probably little things here and there.
They keep using the same contractor every time?
No, I don't think.
I don't know who they used for the air conditioning last year. This year Isaac was a heat.
Isaac used this one.
I don't know who they used for the air conditioning. I don't remember.
I know Isaac did this one. And what it was, is the elevator was falling apart.
Yeah, it's just a part on the furnace that sensed that it needed heat.
Well, it lasted 10 years.
The actuator.
So second. Robot,
Yes.
Snail. Yes. Boko.
Yeah.
Yeager.
Yes.
Yes. This next one is, I didn't finish it because this is where we're gonna review bids, whatever, and we'll finish it when we get a contractor, I guess. So everybody, I sent everybody messages to go ahead and look over the contracts. And all of them, I looked at all the contractors, they all give their 30, 21 days, whatever, so we have to make a decision. Otherwise, you gotta ask the contractors, I'll go back out for bids again, because the bids change every 30 days or whatever, the prices of material. So, we are gonna make a decision tonight, so we're not doing that to the contractors,
Right.
asking them to go out and redo all that.
I like that bid from,
Yeah, I like that.
DJW
Yeah,
Construction.
gentleman who came here and spoke.
Right.
I mean, I looked at where Howland's bid, they were the next closest, I liked Howland's bid, I did, but they're $6,000 more, but they also said they're gonna insulate, they're gonna put the stuff over, they're gonna put tie-back wrap up, they're doing the windows, the door, they're doing everything that DJW, they're doing 5 windows, I think, but they said they're only doing 3. I only saw 3, but I mean, if they replace 5, they replace 5, whatever. You could take $1,000 off of that bill or something for the other 2 windows. If you told them not to do it. I do like their bid, they came in, they said everything exactly what they should about painting and the stuff and all that. I don't know if they were gonna do the 2. They just said cedar shake, so I don't believe that they were gonna do the 2. That stone stuff is more expensive than cedar shake.
Oh, yeah, that.
Even though it's still vinyl, it's more expensive.
Did all 3 bids include
Well, yes,
did it?
all of them, yes.
But I think
Did they,
they were just wood.
right,
I
that
don't think
was
the
my
other
question.
2,
They were
plus the
just,
vinyl option.
right, they were just painting it, and that's what he went and said at first, but then he came back with it and said, you could wrap it with this plastic and make it, but it would take away some of the historical value, so that's, and the looks, it's,
I can't see what I just pulled up a picture. I don't know what he's talking about wood.
Yeah, I couldn't. I think those
Little
are, isn't there these
temporary
little
part.
temporary
What
things
is
that
it?
go up
there.
there?
See it?
Ah.
Underneath that E, that's all fancy, like this stuff.
Woodwork stuff.
It goes up and down all on that top thing. That's what he's talking about. So you would use that, is that a big deal? But that's what he's talking about. It's, you decide if that's a big deal, I don't know.
I mean, in a way, I like preserving the it's a historical building.
Right. Right.
It's nice to preserve that. I also like the idea of maintenance-free vinyl,
Right,
you know?
because the last time we had that painted, it was, I'm not gonna say the contractor, but I was at the highway. And he went in,
Years.
it's probably been at least 15 years, I would think. But he went ahead and replaced a bunch of slats, and actually, water was pouring into that. It actually, there didn't used to be plywood behind, right now the plywood behind where those slats are. There wasn't plywood there before, and water was coming into the building. If you go inside the building, that's why there's a new ceiling in that one section. If you go in that little room, because water was pouring in there. He fixed that, he got up there and did it and everything, but like Dan just said, painting doesn't last forever.
No,
I mean, he did a nice job, it looked really nice, and it lasted all these years. And the platinum, I mean, we're spending a lot of money, so I just wanna go over, he was the cheapest bid by far. I did not like, I think there's a lot of things missing in his bid that
Quote is pretty vague.
are quoted very big. I don't see where there's insulation, like the other two said insulation around the building and then tie back insulation and the siding. He's talking about ripping the siding off, which you can't do. We believe there is asbestos in that siding, so
probably,
you can go over it.
right.
It's legal, and we even looked in our town code and everything before we said this, and it's legal to go over it. You're covering it up and not disturbing it. I thought it was very big, and I don't see some of the hit points. There is no door under, which is both other places said $1,200 for a door. So if you raised his price up $1,200, there's a door. Okay, we could tell him it was and. I wasn't impressed with the bid, I guess. I don't think it hit a lot of things that the other two places did. They just seemed to go into more detail and a better job, a more thorough job. Myself personally, but I mean, I'm just one vote. Myself personally, it's between these two. I think they both quoted a very nice job. I don't think Hamlin didn't do the brick. So if you like the brick, only one person did that two-tone.
I like the two-tone. I do too, I like the looks of it, I think it would look better.
Are those the only color options?
No. There is, I just put that in a different page. There are different brick color options. I was trying to go with a darker one.
Or what about the shake too?
The shake. There's some options. It all depends what kind of shake you want. There's rough song, Cape Cod, which is really smooth. I didn't think we wanted to go with that. This is, which almost that kind of shake, tango shake, but I mean.
Are they all the same price?
I did not ask him at the time. I was trying to stay away from a lot of roughness too, like some of these shakes like these right there, the hand split shakes. You see how rough that is? And he even said, that's gonna catch, you got fields around you, a bunch of farm fields. That's gonna catch a lot of dirt, the roughness of it.
Right.
So he told me to go with a smoother shake, which was one of these, and that's what I went, that's what that picture is, a little smoother shake. But I mean, yes, there are different colors. I mean, white, I think the white is cheaper colors, they're always a little bit more expensive.
I like the brown.
But you don't wanna go, I wouldn't go to white just because of, again, dirt. Well, if it was open fields, it's gonna get dirty.
Like, I like that combination right there.
We can
I don't know
change.
if it'll look weird with a red brick though.
It's not gonna be red, it's gonna be
No,
gray.
the
No,
rest
the
of the
building,
building is
the
red.
building.
So like you're gonna have red brick and then brown and then it just might look a little hodgepodgey.
Like I said, we didn't want to go with the. Where's the red color? Well, there's a red too. You couldn't go with red next to those red bricks. It would just look really terrible. You could have gone with a
Like
darker.
more of a gray, I think.
You could have gone with a darker gray. Like a sea slate gray.
Yeah, something like that, I think.
But
With
then-
that same
Right.
stone, might look a little, match a little bit.
We didn't know how the slate gray would look with a gray stone. We were wanting to show contrast with the stone. The gray probably would look nice next to the
I
red.
just think with the red, the brown might look a
We
little,
can,
be a big contrast. But the,
we can probably change the color. And once we hire, we can discuss it a little bit further or whatever. If we,
With
Can you get
digital.
a couple of samples out?
he said it's tough getting samples out right now because this stuff costs so much. The people, the places do not want to cut a piece off. There is no cutting pieces off and say, giving them people
Yeah, usually, you know, you get some kind of
Like a sample.
samples, but people don't bring samples back to the places. So when they give a sample out, that's what he said, a lot of these places aren't giving them out because people will bring them back and it's very expensive. We can, like I said, we can probably change the color. If you pick a contractor and if we wanna look at the color and change it, we can probably still do that. It's,
so this is 34 with this
No.
cedar shape.
with there's two windows in there, it's 36,761. With the windows added in there, your last page or whatever, or second page, whatever it was. Second page, is that what it is? The three windows?
1785.
Yeah, 17, so it all comes to 36,761. The total figure.
I would pick this one over Holland just because it seems like they're pretty comparable. It's cheaper.
Yeah, like I said, I wouldn't be afraid to use Holland, I just, these are a little cheaper, they came in pretty good, I think.
And I don't know the scope of the other one. Did anyone contact him? Did you
Again, to
see if
give,
he had insulation built in or anything?
no, I did not.
So I don't know if that includes it or not.
I'm just thinking since it wasn't listed, it didn't. Because the color can probably be changed, but we need to pick a contractor, and if we need to change colors,
Mine too.
all right, so requesting town board resolution to award the contract for renovations at the Hamlin History Building to DJW Construction LLC.
So moved.
I'm gonna say an amount.
I'm not sure if the color is gonna change that amount, that's why I'm hesitant. It won't change it $1,000, probably, yeah.
yes.
Now,
Yes.
Boco,
Yes.
Jaeger,
Yes.
Ross.
Yes. Oh, cupola, that is something we need
What do you
to,
guys think?
it doesn't cost any extra money, I
I
think we
think
should.
do maintenance free, not maintenance free option.
Generally preserving history.
I do too.
Have you seen what it is gonna change?
There you go, there's your history guys, we take care of it every couple years. For somebody. That's what I'm saying.
Well,
Are you gonna
we can
remember-
put maintenance money towards it.
Are you gonna remember
I don't, you can't really
what
see
that
it
even
on
looks
here.
like?
And say the same
Maybe
thing.
family guy who's seeing the three women,
Yeah.
it's pretty safe, but you guys.
Yeah.
It's up top, see those little decorations,
Yeah, I know.
that's what you're gonna.
Trying to help you, Mike.
It's up to you guys, I mean, we're gonna try to visit this,
I think you're gonna forget in a couple years what that.
Not
used to
that.
look
but we gotta fix the inside of this building.
like. Oh,
It's needs, the ceiling's falling down in that building, so once we get the outside protected, so no more rainwater and everything, we're gonna have to go in there and put at least a new ceiling in the building. So that's coming down the road shortly, like maybe next year, the ceiling. It's got a bunch of screws up there holding the panels up right now.
What ceiling's in there, drop ceiling?
No. There's a bunch of ceiling panels screwed into what I believe, I don't see underneath of it, but in other parts it's, lath and plaster.
Oh.
I think there's panels and they're all buckling where the water had leaked that day that we were in there when rainwater's coming in and everything.
Inside?
And there's some like drywall screws just up through the panels that are all buckled. And they will come down at some, so we need to fix it before they fall down and break some of the artifacts or fall down on people. They're not gonna fall down right now, but it needs to be visited next year. But we gotta waterproof the outside.
Just if there's something inside that we can do, because we have carpenters that we can help.
Well, we can go over then and look at it, absolutely.
No.
We're thinking about a drop ceiling, actually. When I went over with him, I took him inside and said, what would you play with this ceiling? And we were talking about, if you got to take some of those panels off that are gonna fall down, get them out of there, but then put a drop ceiling like 6 inches low. And put a drop ceiling in there.
Yep.
Which that would be the easiest, to tear it out, it's gonna be bare.
So consensus is preserve the wood for the people.
That's my feeling. My feeling too.
Not my feeling.
That's fine. It's a
I'm telling you, it's
democracy.
gonna be a memory. Grandma died, you put her in a box, you bury her. You're never gonna remember this again. You know what I'm saying? I really believe that in a couple of years, you'll be very happy that you had a maintenance-free initial job.
Then maybe in a couple of years we'll change it. Do it then.
No, that's right.
Well, it's been 15 years since it
Yeah.
was painted.
That's
Yeah.
great.
It's, the cedar shade can be added later on to the cupola if you wanted to.
Yeah, and it's gonna be a lot more money because the prices are gonna go up.
Yes.
Right.
Probably.
But I think it needs just a lot of repairs. If he makes it sturdier, because I mean, those things are just, it's missing so many.
It needs a lot of repair, yes.
So
Up
I
there.
think once he repairs it, we'll do a nice deep job, I think it'll look better. I vote to preserve it. Preserve
Okay.
the wood.
That's fine. I would vote for the vinyl probably too, but it's 3 against 2, so we will paint.
That's fine.
That's fine. That's a democracy. It is. We're good. That will last, and then we can always decide to go the other way
Gotta
down the
make
road.
sure that it's right. Because when they're climbing up there and falling off, trying to fix it, some bird that got up there stuck. Can vote on this.
All right. All right, so let's go on to the reports. Councilperson
Come
David.
on, we don't wanna vote on this, they don't.
No,
I
you guys all vote.
Disapprove
You're fine.
of that,
This is good.
okay.
Councilperson David.
Cause that's exciting. We have, 4 cars from Sweden, where we actually needed our dog truck. Nothing from Clarkson, we updated all the, contracts except Clarkson, cause they wanna redo their whole contract. You wanna discuss, you don't wanna discuss that until maybe later on, but, they also built a dog house for the Roddy down on Brick Schoolhouse Road. Everybody see the
Pretty
picture? That's a
awesome.
really
Yeah.
nice thing. You put the name on it, right?
Name of the dog.
Yeah, I thought that was really nice. Everybody see that? Maureen, you see the nice dog house
I
you built?
did, I saw it on Facebook.
Okay, there you go. For the library, we had, in 1 month, we get 1,400 people. Oh, that's kind of, they duplicate that, but that's the count. It seems like a lot of people going to the library. But I believe it, every time I'm there, there's people, but, I think that's amazing that they're able to do that. Some of this is old news because our meetings held up, but we had a preschool school story time. That was online. We also had the training Christmas traditions of a homeschooling program. Mrs. Carlson did preschool story time. We also sent our trustees to trustee training because they have to do that once a year. And they just, some, like I said tonight, some little old, like parts were involved when the building was made or starting to fall apart, so we went a little bit. That's about it.
Okay. Councilperson Vocal.
Okay, zoning board of appeals, there was a property split on Church Road, public hearing, no public comment, that was granted. CHOP permit for generator on Shore Acres, and a CHOP permit on Benedict Beach for a temporary access pad for a dock that's being built. And they did appoint Rocky Ellsworth as the vice chair. History Committee had its first meeting of the year, kind of trying to come up with what our plan is for the year and what people want to focus on. And I think the main project that they want to look at is there's no real agricultural history in the building. So just we kind of compiled a preliminary list of like all the farms. And maybe we'll need the farmland protection plan for some information. And just gonna work on doing something, either display or gathering information about the history of agriculture in our town, different crops, the historical farmers have been throughout the years. So starting to work on that. The Chamber of Commerce is going to have Casey Kasorik, the superintendent of Hilton School District, speak at their next meeting, and I think his focus is going to be on that capital improvement project. House for so there's some meetings coming up for that for public input. If anyone's in that district and wants to know more about that, attend a meeting. I have some discussion things I want to talk about now.
We're coming back to this.
Okay.
So I got some.
Okay.
Okay. Councilperson Mayo.
Supervisor Boss and I met with the Hilton Pharma Fire District and ambulance. We have talked about it as a board. We are assigning our certificate of need for Hamlin to the Hamlin Voluntary Ambulance, and that will be in effect March 1st. That letter's ready to go out. So March 1st, we'll be looking at the eastern residents of Hamlin to be covered by the Hamlin ambulance instead of Monroe. We have a cultural committee meeting March 4th coming up. We're going to start planning our farm days, which we are tentatively scheduled for August 26th.
What's gonna happen that day?
A lot of tractors.
Are we gonna have a tractor parade?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
We want to. It's still in the early stages. I've been talking to different farmers in town and everything.
The firemen want to have a parade too, don't they? I think, or
Big tractors.
with the tractor. Firemen.
No, firemen are talking about having a separate parade,
Right.
but we'll have a parade to Fireman's Field with the tractor.
So the day the firemen are having this parade, but that's all they're gonna have. There's no carnival, there's no, right?
No.
I thought they may have their parade during Wheel Fest.
We're talking about having it during Wheel Fest, but I
Okay.
don't think that's been locked down. I think that's in the
Because they should go to somewhere.
Yeah.
I mean, or then you just have a parade, you end up nowhere.
early stages of
Right.
too.
Best part about that parade, you ended up somewhere.
Yes. We've been diligently working through a grant at the VFW for $75,000 to redo and expand the parking lot down there. And we are also working on, knock on wood, finalizing the design for the the first war memorial that will be in Hamlin out in front. So
Okay. All right, Councilperson Hurlbut.
Hamlin Morton Walker Fire District has had 22 calls year to date. That storm over Christmas, they suffered some pretty significant storm damage to Station 1 roof and generator damage to Station 2. They answered 15 calls related to the storm. And then on planning board, there's a commercial site plan modification for both 47 King Street and 53 King Street. One to operate a trucking business and the other is for a small engine repair business. Both of those, they schedule public hearings for March 6th. And there was a lot line adjustment for 896 Hamlin Clarkson Town Line Road that was approved. And a property split for 2431 Brick Schoolhouse, and that they also scheduled for the public hearing March 6th. There was a Mylar site plan, very minor change, just text changes for 307 Drake Road. That was approved and signed at the meeting. And then there was a conservation corridor development permit, 6596 Shore Acres Road, which was approved. And farmland protection plan, we are close. I'd like to think of getting the signature on the grant with Ag and Markets. Has there been any updates in the last couple of days, Steve? They say we're ready to sign, but when you go to sign it, they're not ready. That's all I have. And then just one thing, if we do a farmland protection plan committee meeting, we should advertise that in the paper. Is that right? That's what we're. As soon as we get that signed, I'd like to have a
Meeting. Okay.
That's it.
All right. Our building inspector Patelli.
Okay, the department issued 22 permits in the past month. And the cost received back to us is a little over $1,900, but it did add value to the town of over $331,000, which is always good for the town. 10 permits have been closed. I had 110 phone calls in the office, big difference in like 270. And I sent out 13 violation notices for various code violations and complaints. Now there's no snow, there's a lot of junk. Oh, that's visible. And I've done quickies again today. I've been there like probably twice a week for the past 3 or 4 weeks, and it's coming along well. And I think a spring opening is being hoped for. So it's coming along beautifully. It's a great asset. It's down here.
Is there a contact person for there? I'd like to approach them about the chamber and doing like a ribbon cutting with the chamber.
I will send you tomorrow. I will send you an email tomorrow morning with information.
And other people
Thanks.
contacted me about trying to get jobs there. I guess they don't miss.
Not yet. I think they will have a job there of some sort.
I know they advertise on the radio for positions being open, but not specifically for him.
No, it's not because people said, well, they've called the Hamlin, or there's nothing for Hamlin. So I was wondering if they're gonna open with no people, or.
I can look into that question and explain to everybody.
Cheryl, Liz, our assessor, did such a wonderful job with her presentation to the seniors that they suggested that maybe the other town departments may want to set up, coming in and just explaining what they do, kind of what you need, maybe licenses, what kind of building permits you need. And I know Kaylee, I think, is stopping by at the next one to talk about.
I am not, we have a senior
the-
exercise instructor.
Yes, maybe the senior
we teamed up.
exercise
Yep.
instructor stopping by. But just something to kind of, maybe, great, Mike, if
You would
Come
stop.
on, Mike.
chat with the seniors.
Oh,
and
yeah.
get some hearing from you.
They're the ones that yell at you, right?
Actually, they don't.
Oh, see,
Yeah.
that's
They're
good.
pretty,
They don't.
pretty good.
Thank you.
do sugar.
They're pretty good. The
Yeah,
only thing we've ever had to do for the seniors is take care of their stinky drain in their backyard, and they're happy as can be.
huh, that's nice.
But just something to put on everybody's radar, and, you know, kudos to Liz, she did such a great job that they're now interested in what the other departments
Thanks, lad.
with.
All right. Highway Superintendent Mike German.
Whether we know it or not, it's been winter, so obviously we've been plowing the roads when we need it. We had the battle with the people that want their sidewalks plowed, the people that don't want their sidewalks plowed. That seems to be never ending. We're trying to make people happy. With the break in weather, we've gotten down and removed all the dangerous ash trees that the state asked us to remove prior to them coming into Scout Park. They're part of that project. So we're just working on cleaning that up and getting it stumps ground and back to presentable now that the weather's a little nicer for who knows how long, for the week, and people that are out using our park. So the guys are working hard on that. The building that we sold across the street, the old wooden gamble roof barn, it went to a contractor out of Long Island that came up with his entire crew and spent a week and took that building apart board by board, the opposite of the way it was put up, and took it home to build his wife a farmhouse.
Wow.
Yeah. He told Lindsay she needs to find a man that will build her a farmhouse. I said, get out of the office.
Holy cow.
Well, so that's done. That site is pretty much cleaned up.
Crocs, did you?
Have some-
Crocs and sneakers. Wore Crocs and socks.
No, it was 3 degrees the day they were taking the second floor roofing off, and they were out there. They took two big truckloads and 2 big trailer loads. They came up with a 30-ton tag trailer, a 20-ton tag trailer, and 2 cab holder trucks, and they loaded them with every piece of that building and went back to Long Island and left almost nothing on the site.
Yeah, it looks.
Yep. If I'd like to propose another resolution to you, and I guess a little backstory. The highway department has 2 wheel loaders, and we have since '99. The case was a '99, right? And that was the first of 2 loaders. So when Steve took over, we had a 40-year-old wheel loader and a 13-year-old wheel loader. And when Steve took over, we tried to put together a replacement plan so things fit into it where they age out and they're replaced. So when we replaced the first loader, we had a plan for the second one. And the second one, because it was damaged mechanically on a job before Steve took over, failed before that time ever happened. So we ended up with 2 wheel loaders that are 3 years apart. And next year would be the year to replace a loader, because down the road are dump trucks and pickup trucks that fit into that plan. So I started looking around because equipment is, some of it's still a year out, some of it's 9 months out, some of it's not. So I got pricing from the Caterpillar dealer, the John Deere dealer, the Hyundai dealer, Komatsu dealer, and the Volvo dealer. And out of the 5, I like the Volvo machine the best. It is actually the second best priced machine right now, only because they haven't updated their state bid pricing in 18 months. On Wednesday, that changes. So this should have been an order mid-year to take delivery early next year. If you will allow me, I would like to order the machine now. We would take delivery in August. It saves us, he says, 10%. So 10% is somewhere between $26,000 and $30,000.
What's the total price of the?
So with the trade-in, it's going to be $110,490. that's a $90,000 trade-in value on that, so it's 200,000. We have the money in the equipment reserve to do it, and then put the money back in the next budget. That's where we put everything from all the used equipment sales. So we could purchase it, take delivery in August, and pay for it in September, October. He says you're not gonna get a bill for a month after you receive it anyway. So it's not like we're getting it a year early, but to save $30,000, I think it's the smart thing to do.
I mean, that is smart. We're gonna do it anyway.
We're gonna do it anyway.
I make a motion.
So let me read your resolution, then you can make a motion.
Sure, perfect.
Requesting town board resolution for the purchase of one Volvo L90H wheel loader complete with quick attach 3.5 yard general purpose bucket and quick attach forks. One 2018 Hyundai HL940TM loader, serial number HHK HW401 PI 0000169, to be traded in against purchase. Sourcewell price of Volvo after trade-in to be $110,490. Funds to be used from DA 5130.2.
Can you read that again? I didn't.
No, I'll give it to you. No, thank you.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you.
Hurlbut,
Yes.
Mal.
Yes.
Coco.
Yes.
Yeager.
Yes. Yes. Very good, Michael.
One more piece of business. I was asked at the last meeting for prices on buildings. A rough price, because nobody's gonna give us a price, because we're gonna have to go to bid. It looks like a rough price is probably 150 to 200, building, concrete floor, and electric. So where you wanna go with that is up to you guys.
Sorry, how much?
150 to 200,000.
If we can't swing that right now, I mean, the building, we have to look at our look at our money and everything, and but at least at the building, you can add concrete later on. We'll see what our budgets are like. I mean, and then you'd probably be talking more towards the 150 for right now.
Yeah, I think that's some of the discussion in a workshop and see where we're at as far as sewer maintenance, what we're gonna be doing for Lake Shore sewers and I don't know, Mike, you would, there's also some maintenance to do on existing.
The maintenance we need to do on the highway garage, we need to fix some of the steel siding. You know, and there's stuff that my guys can do, but it costs money, and those things aren't figured into the building part of the budget. You know, they're above and beyond that.
See where we're at overall as
Right.
get an overall picture of where we wanna be 10, 15 years down the road.
Right.
I think
We can discuss, like I said, we'll discuss our budget and everything first. And
Do you know, Mike, in talking to the builders, how far out they are as far as buildings? Where are they building, scheduling into July, August, or I don't know?
So if the only builder that gave me a time frame was one of the two that we would probably use. There's two building manufacturers at the top, and then the rest start to go down from there. So if you want quality, you have two that are competing. And one of them told me that if we had something for them in the next couple months, I'm thinking by the end of March, then we would be early summer, late spring. Once you get into that time frame of making a decision, you're fall. Right. Because he says that's when they really start to pick up.
Makes sense.
Okay. Is that it?
That's it. All I got for you.
Recreation Supervisor Kaylee.
So our January to April brochure came out at the beginning of the year. Registrations are coming in. It was a little slow at the beginning of the year. Everyone spent their money on Christmas, but now they're coming in. We're working with the cultural committee on the summer events, Farm Fest, working with Friends of Hamlin Rec on Halloween-a-thon right now. We paired with the Hamlin Democrats and I'm offering CPR. The first class actually filled up, so we have a second day, which works out nice for me because I can send my staff there because they'll have to be done before summer anyway. So it's nice to have that in-house. We actually have a lot of sponsorships coming in. The businesses in town have been fantastic. It kind of dropped off. I wasn't here last year, but Josh said a lot of them kind of dropped off during COVID. But we got 3 checks today, I think, in the mail, which is fantastic considering, I hope we're going to have teams this year. Baseball is looking good. I have coaches for most of the baseball teams and enough kids. I should have enough to run them. Soccer numbers are a little low, but it's early. So we're going to push on that. Unfortunately, the older teams have fallen off, not because of us, but the baseball league is no longer offering the 17U. The soccer league is no longer offering 19U. So I'm trying to find at least outlets for these kids to go, specifically the soccer girls. We always have a lot of girls in that age bracket that just still want to play. So I'm trying to find a women's league. Doug Kurz, I think you guys all know Doug, been around forever, is working with me. We're trying to find it. I don't know if I'll have a solution, but we're trying to find something. We are working with Michelle and the seniors on what their needs are. We got the AARP driving classes back. We're again a certified site for those. So our March class is filled up, our June is almost filled up, and then August we have one. We got a senior fitness instructor who I chatted with, but I thought her best bet was to talk to the seniors because I don't know what they want. I can tell her my ideas, but really they are the ones that have the want. So she's going to go to their meeting next time. And we talked with AARP about taxes, which I know has been a hot button around here. Everyone wants it here. It's doable, but it is completely run on volunteers. A lot of people in town want it, so we reached out.
We get calls.
I get
right for
calls
So they
constantly.
get called by IRS one year, another.
But so Hilton does have some people that live in Hamlin that do volunteer over there. I've reached out to a couple people in town who may want to volunteer. I'll do my best, but everyone knows volunteers are hard to come by right now. We at least have the information. We don't have to decide until like August if we're going to be a site or not. If we do become a site, we're going to just be able to do really one day and kind of start and see what the need is, see what we can get for volunteers. Again, no promises, but I'm going to try my best to get it going. And I guess the last thing is the solar eclipse, which not everyone is excited as well.
It's gonna be huge.
It is going to be huge.
Hundreds of thousands of people.
Right.
We'll stay for a minute.
3.
No, the traffic jams will keep them here for days.
That's true.
Like, what's that? Well, you could capitalize on it, have like a big festival. I mean, you could use, I mean, really.
So we applied for a grant. So I talked about it a little bit with a couple people here. So the Rochester Museum and Science Center has a grant program. They're picking 50 sites. They're going to give you the telescope, the glasses, the model, and $1,000 to do whatever. If we get that, obviously we'll do something. If not, I don't know if we're going to have the turnout.
Well,
I
this
will
is the
say
spot, right? This is the best spot.
Brockport is.
Rock.
And the college is doing a huge thing. I don't know if the campsites at the beach will be open. If they are, that would kind of maybe open a little bit. Fun fact, the bridge in Brockport will be closed
Right.
during all of this when they're worried about traffic. The Main Street Bridge, April 2024. The college is planning a big thing. They're gonna, sell out the parking spots to campers when they don't have enough parking spots for their students, but it is what it is. So we applied for some grants. Jackie Smith is really pushing this and working with everybody to try and get us all on board.
You can sell those tin hats.
Well, I can't with you.
Joel's foil hats.
No, I ever see that, really?
Did you go to that meeting in?
So I've done a Zoom meeting last week with the Rochester Museum and Science Center, and then Patty, Joe, and I rode up on our break a little bit last week and at Clarkson, and they did a presentation up there. It sounds like everyone is kind of doing their own thing. Margate at Brockport is kind of like everybody stay home because she doesn't want traffic jams because the bridge on Main Street is going to be closed. The college is doing a big thing. Clarkson didn't really indicate what they were doing. We were kind of waiting to hear back from the beach to see if they were going to open up campsites. There was a place for the last one that sold out in 6 seconds?
200 sites sold out in 6 seconds.
Yeah. The beach does have a new director. We reached out. His name is Ross something. His last name is not, I can't think of it right now. So we're gonna meet with him and see just about everything because he is new. So I'll probably talk to him about that when I go see him. But
We should do like a festival trip with bands and.
the school will be closed, so we'll have the kids out back at camp, at the very least. But yes, we have options. What we want to do.
What day are you running the second CPR class?
The following Sunday. So is it the 19th and 26th? I'm not looking at a calendar, I'm sorry. You have a calendar in front of you?
No, the wrong one.
I was pretending.
Didn't you guys usually have calendars?
We do. I lost that insurance company.
I think it's the 19th and 26th. The 19th is in the lodge. Yeah, the 19th is in the lodge. The 26th is in the gym. The 19th is sold out. The 26th, I think, still has spots. A couple from the library are going, and a couple of my staff are going to the one on the 26th.
Yeah, the VFW is supposed to, so that's why I asked.
Okay, and the fire department was supposed to, because we were gonna send some people there too, but they had some mandatory training, so they had to cancel theirs. Everyone is that big push for CPR now after the Bills incident, obviously,
Yeah.
so. The more people we have, the better. That's all I got.
Okay.
You can save your shoes, because
Oh,
we're collecting shoes.
Friends of Hamlin Records
Gently
collecting
used
shoes, gently used shoes. There's a smelly shoe bin in my office. Drop them off.
Shoes for
What
what?
do you do with them?
Yeah.
Friends of Hamlin Rec.
There's a group, a fundraising group called Funds to Orgs, and take the shoes to other countries, third world countries, and they work on business, helping them with their businesses and using the shoes to help build that, because people need shoes, so they sell those shoes like a business.
So then they give us money for the shoes towards the Friends of Hamlin Rec.
So we give them the shoes, then they go to a different country, then
It,
those
it
people
helps
sell
those
them?
local, those
I
local
just don't get it.
business in that country to help build their business.
Oh, so they like sell shoes on the side of whatever else they're doing.
I don't know, he didn't really explain it, like what else they're selling, but it was like to help their
It's a
local
fundraiser.
business.
We're making money off of
Hey,
these
they're
shoes.
giving us money for the shoes, we'll give them to them.
All right, our town assessor, Liz.
The only thing I really have is, we sent out about 400 letters to our seniors. Anybody who had an enhanced star about the new senior limited income. And we've had about 170 seniors come in and 128 qualified. So that's a lot that have qualified. So keep that in mind when we decide if we're gonna raise our limits or not, because what an impact it will have if we raise ours. It's a lot. Now, a lot of them are qualifying at the 50% off on the county portion.
Wow.
Yeah. And that's just our town. I mean, I talked to Don today in Parma, he's slammed. He said he sent out 900 postcards and he has been nonstop. So we'll see the impact overall from the county and we can go from there. You know, on the
Any other towns increase their limit?
Yep, Brighton, Henrietta, and the city. Just those three. So the other thing is my other exemptions that we mailed out, we're gonna start calling people because if they haven't brought their renewals in, we'll get them in here by March 1st. So we're just really busy with that.
I think she's been busier than me on tax day.
Clark, do you have anything from the conservation board?
Let's see. The last meeting, we had three referrals. One was 6596 Shore Acres, was for a generator, and it was consistent. 7016 Benedict Beach Road, for a generator, and that was consistent. And 7748 Newco Drive for solar panels. That was consistent also, wasn't it? Should get that down. And then two of our members went down to Brockport Yacht Club and looked at the area and inspected the area where they wanted dredge. And they found no problems with that. It didn't go against anything that they saw. So, and that's about it.
Okay, thank you. Our town clerk, Penny Joe.
Well, we got through tax week, so that's been going great. We're right on target like we were last year. I think ahead a little bit, by a little bit, but it's pretty much the same. And that's it. And I was working on a grant and I found out that we can't do that grant anymore, so I'll find new ones.
All right. Let's continue with discussions. Councilperson Vogel.
Well, Haley brought up one of the items. I was gonna say there's that $1,000 grant. I was thinking the library too. Could both of you apply?
So they have partnered with a different organization, I don't know the name, and so they figured we'd spread the wealth, see if we can get something different. But they have already partnered with somebody to get the glasses and stuff.
Another thing, I just wanted to thank Haley for her and Josh this weekend at the Princess Party. It was an event of a person who was struggling, and they handled it very professionally. I think they really showed respect for that person and respect for all the other people who were attending the event. It was little kids and they got a little scared, I think, and I think you guys did a great job in the way that you handled that. So, thank you. The other thing was the sign out front. Does anyone have ideas on what they want it to look like? I know we all were going to take pictures or bring forth some ideas. I'm happy to work on that. I have some quotes, and not quotes for us, but quotes that other people sent me for their signs that they did. But it really just depends on what we want. I mean, you can't approach someone.
But they have it race. Like at being a high school. I mean, some of these are just really killer. The way it runs, all every event, it looks almost like a stadium. I'm sure we want that advanced.
No, probably not the little town of Hamlin.
Plus, we
I don't
have
want to
the
spend
libraries,
100,000 on this sign.
The fire department, there's a bunch of them, and you don't want to look like Vegas strips down here, but so something shorter, like brick, kind of just building off of what we have, but having it be an electronic sign in the middle. Is that?
Yeah, we can.
Picture, yeah.
I thought we had gone around and gathered some.
We did a couple years ago.
No, it was, I didn't even think it was a couple years ago.
No,
we did.
you
Not
sent us
lately.
stuff from the VFW sign, their
And
information.
the fire departments.
Well, that was this
And the
year.
library, yeah.
That was last year, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It's within the last.
Unless you want to preserve the antique nature of it, still put those.
I like the one we have out there. I had to fix the letter just the
You know,
other
with the
day.
letters
It
out
was
there.
falling.
Maybe you want to do that. No.
We can start looking at that sign again, getting to be springtime and stuff.
Yeah, I just
Sit
got
there,
his email.
go and look at the signs and get some more prices or whatever. Yeah, we can. That's absolutely.
And then one more thing, training. So you sent us, you forwarded an email to us from MRB groups, where that one big email they send out from MRB. It's not like our individual location, but all the MRBs.
I have other people.
anyway, in there was a training opportunity for support boards, and I know we've talked about, you know, giving them a little bit more opportunities, not just the traditional ones they've gone to, which seem to repeat year after year after year. So there is a MRB partners with I think they're a law firm, and they do monthly trainings that are an hour each, and they are certified for credit to give support boards credit. So I emailed the law firm and they sent me their annual agenda. There's some that I don't think would be very beneficial, but I think for a new person on a board, some of those would be great. But there's probably maybe 6 of them out of the course of the year that people might be interested in. So I can forward you guys that information and see what you think. If they're pertinent trainings, our Zoom, you know, if they did 4 of them, I think each one's 1 credit. They offer 10 of them. So maybe the support boards can use those as training instead of what they currently do, but I'll send you guys the information.
Okay. Anybody else? The other thing is that I had was for discussion was, as Angel said, the ambulance, the letter has been sent to 911 to change it. They said it'd take a couple weeks, so we'll work to hear them. They've been working on the sewers a lot. They're going down streets, running. They got 2 crews, one going down streets, one running the main line, giving notes to residents. And the residents are all starting to call in since they're finally getting the notes. I don't know, where do I want to put my pump? We've been after you for 2 years to tell us where you want to put these pumps. So now we're sending a map down to Florida today so he can mark on there where he wants to put his pump. The people are going to start on 260 probably next week. They're finishing up a job in Waterloo on that line. Been a lot of cell tower problems. We've been spending hours on that. Companies doing something they're not supposed to do. The whole thing is companies doing something. Couple of different towers, 2 different things on each, or different things on each tower. So we put a stop work order on one tower. The other one is just not doing both. They're going to be better to work with, I think, but we still haven't looked at the stop work order. I fixed the furnace, or had the furnace fixed. That bill will be coming in out with the court. There was snow and wind blowing in there. The water line was freezing. There was puddle of snow. I got contacted, so I could have done it myself. But that furnace is less than a year old. Do I want to touch anything on it and void the warranty? So I had to call the company up and they went to get it. And that's all I have for discussion.
Is that one cell tower operational? The one over on Moscow?
No, that's what the stop work orders are. Barring any further discussion, I would like to go with being that it is 8:17. I would like to go into executive